Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody in TV land and social media land. Welcome to Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. I'm Ray. I'm out in sunny Port Richey, Florida, and my co-host, Mr. Steve Reed, is in an undisclosed warehouse, outhouse, safe house somewhere in northern Texas. Mr. Steve Reed.
Can I join you now? Is it okay if I come in
Yeah,
now?
you can join. You
Okay.
can
I know
join.
last week I came in too early, so you hadn't officially let me in. So
So
yeah,
I'm cracking the whip, and hopefully Steve will start paying attention and listening.
no, not likely, not likely. How's Ray doing today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm excited for today's show to
Oh, so am I.
learn a lot about how a gentleman named J.R. Smith helps veterans that are dealing with PTSD. He started a ranch in 2017 called the Veterans Ranch. That's equine therapy, and we're gonna let JR talk a little about that himself. Welcome to the show, Mr. Smith. Do you want to, Mr. Smith? Do you want JR? How do you want to be?
Hey, you in my general direction. I know you're talking to me. I'll answer. JR's fine. Mr. Smith's my father.
Okay. All
And
right.
Mr.
Sounds
Smith is
good.
not going to Washington.
Right.
So
That's right. Thought about that. Thought differently of it.
So,
no,
can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how and when the Veterans Ranch got started?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, happy hump day to all y'all. For all my
Always.
non-Southerners, they don't understand. All y'all is a plural of y'all. The interesting way about how the Veterans Ranch got started was the good Lord and a legal pad. Is really how it happened. My dad always taught me to keep a legal pad by the bed in case you get an idea in the middle of the night. A lot of legal pads went a whole lot of nowhere. A lot of great ideas, or I thought were great ideas. We still have one word written on this legal pad, and I'm going to frame the page so it doesn't get lost. And it says ranch. October of 2017, by 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm in absolute chicken scratch. Write it on there, go back to sleep. Get up the next morning, look at it like, what the hell did I just write? My wife and I are horse people. We wanted a couple of horses, our little slice of Americana, and then figure out what we're going to do with veterans. Well, the good Lord works in mysterious ways. About 2 weeks later, after a lot of prayer, a lot of reflection, and everything else, we're going to Bass Pro Shops because I am that guy you can drop off at open, pick up at close, and I will never get bored. We stop at Chili's for lunch. Okay. Now, y'all know Chili's napkins are only about yay big. So,
Yep.
20 Chili's napkins later, the ideas for the Veterans Ranch were born.
cool.
And by December of 17, we were a charity, rocking and rolling. Now what? Right. And so the goal has always been moving forward. Now, going on year 6, is to do equine therapy free of charge for veterans and their immediate household families.
That
That is
is
awesome,
very
and
cool.
I really applaud you for coming up with the concept and following through with putting it together,
Ray, that
Mr.
kind of
Steve.
reminds me a little bit. Now, this is JR's time in the Veteran Ranch, but that sounds a little bit like Heroes in Action, where you want to do your services free of charge for people that need to learn self-defense and how to protect themselves. So JR, what a cool thing. So besides, now you said it was you and your wife at Chili's. Was there anybody else involved in this conversation?
Yeah, no sooner did we have that meeting that day of ourselves, right? We got home and I couldn't wait to call my dad and tell my dad about it. We're here in Lakeland, Florida. For everybody not familiar with the area, put a pin halfway between Disney World and Tampa, and we don't claim Disney, but that tells you where everybody is,
So,
and that's where we are. And my folks live here as well. And I couldn't wait to tell them about it. My dad's a Vietnam veteran, was in country 69-70, was in the great United States Navy from 69 to 73. So hoorah. No sooner than I tell him about it, it was kind of like had a V8 moment. Super excited about it. Couldn't wait to make it happen. And, just does not, he's not as much of a horse guy as me and my wife are. And especially after some of his injuries between running Marines upriver on PBRs, and running them out of Da Nang to motorcycle accidents. It's kind of hard for him to go through an airport metal detector. But so getting on a horse isn't a really good thing for him. But he absolutely loves what we do, loves working with other veterans, and really helping them come full circle and laying down the heavy coats of burden they need to do.
That is very cool. My wife is a daughter of a 20-year Navy veteran, and so she's got a lot of good memories about that. And she used to live, well, she lived all over the world, but grew up, spent a lot of years in the Virginia Beach area. And her dad was stationed on a ship and was gone for 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months at a time, that sort of thing. She spent a little bit of time in Hawaii and who knows where else. So she has a very strong passion for helping military veterans and now also first responders in much the same way. And I've been a radical Republican. I can't say radical conservative for ever since the Ronald Reagan days. And I've done my confession time. I did vote for Jimmy Carter because the media said, here's this good Baptist boy, and let him, and so forth. And so I voted, and then I found out the guy's a fraud. So anyway, and then
my dad admitted to one mistake in his whole life, and that was voting for Jimmy Carter. Everybody from that era knows, Ford had to pardon Nixon, so immediately he was hated.
Yeah.
And then here comes this peanut picking farmer, and whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I was born in '72, so I just hit the big 50, and Dad got out. He had enough of that man's Navy. He said after he saw more than 4 years and most see in a career, and he had just had enough. And God bless the ones that stay in for 20 years and the ones that are guarding a post today. Most people have no idea the sacrifice and dedication that takes from one individual, much less a family.
Yeah, very much. So, okay. So what's the actual mission of the Veterans Ranch?
So the mission, as simple as it sounds, is as complicated as it gets. Through God's majestic animal, the horse, allow them to fight the effects of PTSD. Okay, that's the last time you're going to hear me say it with all 4 initials. It's PTS. The government calls it a disorder, so you can qualify for some benefits. It's post-traumatic stress. You've walked through some things in your life, which we all have, just not the hyperized way most of our veterans have. And now you got to learn how to deal with it and walk through it better. Then we're also working on getting down this now 44 veteran a day suicide rate. That's right, folks. I said it. We need to talk about it more. 44 a day. 44 yesterday, day before, 44 today, and 44 tomorrow. A horse is an extremely intuitive animal. It literally can feel a gnat land on its back, and it does know everything about you 10 feet away. We're going to start simply by putting a grooming brush in your hand, get you to start working a rhythmic motion of grooming and taking care of that horse, and you're doing a few things right there. One, you're taking your mind off the real world. Okay, I've been self-employed for a really long time, did a lot of sales training and things of that nature. And we always told salesmen, leave your personal baggage at the door. It'll be there when you get back. Well, with veterans, we want there to be less personal baggage to pick back up when you're done. You're also building a bond of trust with an animal that's inherently born not to trust anyone. Horses are pack animals and prey animals, meaning, they want to know 2 things. 1, are you going to be my leader? 2, are you going to hurt me? Now, you'll spend your whole life doing that with your own horse. Imagine one you just met 5 minutes ago. So you have to truly give yourself to the process. And I relate it to what veterans have told me, because, again, I'm a patriot. Okay, I wear cowboy boots. I never wore combat boots. When you're in boot camp and you got 4 drill instructors yelling the same, different orders at you on a regular basis, using words your mother never used, and you've got to obey all those orders and do it right now, and you'll learn how to process the information later. You have to give yourself to the process, or that is going to be a really tough 6-8 weeks for you. Well, we ask you to do the same thing with horses. Do we apply a lot of pressure? No. But the more you give of yourself, the easier this process becomes. And when you look at our brand, when you'll see it on our website, that is the point, is working through horses, you will come full circle. You will lay down heavy coats of burden. You become a better father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, and you will lay down heavy coats of burden. Maybe that's today, maybe it's a couple of years down the road, but the Veterans Ranch is going to be here as long as you need us to be here.
So I know you had talked about being in Lakeland, Florida, but earlier we privately discussed that's not where all the horses are at this time. So you've partnered with other ranches that have horses. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have built some great relationships in about a 10, 12 county area of Polk County here, where we go and use other people's horses, facilities, and do what we do. We are working on getting our own piece of dirt, as we kiddingly call it. We're now on the state appropriations list. So if you're in Florida and this strikes a chord with you, reach out to your state representative and say, hey, make sure the Veterans Ranch gets what they need. It's a great process being able to help there is north of 513,000 veterans in that 10, 12 county area. So we got quite the talent pool to pull from.
Absolutely.
That is very cool. So you don't actually have the horses yourselves. You've got other ranchers that have opened up their ranches to veterans. I think that it's an absolutely amazing, noble cause for you to be able to engage both with the veterans as well as with these ranchers.
There's a lot of great proud patriots out there that are willing to open up their doors and their horses and let us do what we do. And when we get our own piece of dirt, we're going to turn those folks into affiliate ranches where they can actually be the Veterans Ranch in their neighborhood. Okay, using our colors, brands, logos, they'll get their own fundraising link and the whole 9 yards. There are 20 million veterans from sea to shining sea. We can't serve them all, even with 300 and some odd acres and 12, 15 horses. So we're going to put together a team to where when you think of equine therapy for veterans, the Veterans Ranch is the name that hits top of mind.
That is very cool. Well, JR, we need to take a real quick commercial break and got to pay some bills. But when we get back, we're gonna want to explore a little bit more about some of the things that you're doing with the horses, how you're helping, some of the PTS issues, etc. So.
Hi, welcome to Heroes in Action. I'm Ray Amanat, founder and creator of this training system. I originally made it so that everyone can train for free. We have programs for kids, for women, families, and businesses. I'm an author, speaker, and educator on everything that has to do with violence and bullying prevention education. If you'd like more information about who we are and what our programs are, please go to our website at heroesinaction.us or give me a call if you have any questions at 727-314-2534. We hope to see you here to train.
Boy, do I have questions for you. Ray, talk to us more about Heroes in Action.
I have answers. I know you do. Well, Heroes in Action, we are always open for speaking opportunities. We've got a gig tomorrow for a senior group. We've got about 40 women that we'll be speaking to on senior safety, how not to be a victim of scams, how to identify somebody that is a predator and not be a victim of any form of verbal or physical abuse, what to say, what to do, how to draw attention. And we're also got 2 other presentations lined up dealing with active shooters. So we go on all different spectrums for safety issues for kids, women, businesses, and seniors. We try to target all of them. Our training facility that we have in Port Richey, if you want to reserve a time slot, we're available pretty much from 11 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night. just use this QR code to reserve your own private lesson. Again, this is in Port Richey, Florida, and we would love to have you come in and train. And the best thing about it is all the training is free. We do everything based on grants and getting donations from people that believe in our mission. If you would like to help fund our cause, you can use this QR code, which will take us to a donation page. Our goal is to get 800 donors that do a recurring donation of at least $25 a month. And what that does is that gives all of our handouts, our books, our capes, our t-shirts, and then all of the training, that comes free of charge. I started this because I didn't want to charge anyone. If you're a homeless person and you fear for your safety and want some training, you can come in and train with us and not worry about a thing. That's the mission, and our goal is to create safe communities all over our country.
All right, Ray, I got something else I think you need to talk about, and that is another fundraising opportunity.
So we're doing this is our first ever Survive and Thrive Adventures cruise with the Royal Caribbean Cruise that we've partnered with. It's going to be leaving from Tampa and going to Cozumel. It's a 5-day, 4-night trip. On the way down to Cozumel, you would receive 3 hours of hands-on training with us. On the way back, you would get 3 additional hours. We've got reserved 10 balcony cabins and 15 window cabins. You need to do a down payment of $100 or a deposit of $100, and then by March 1st, have it paid in full. And we're trying to fill this cruise up. So we've got a lot of like-minded people that want to learn more about safety and go on a vacation. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. So the dates again are June 8th until the 12th.
Right.
And JR Travel is the travel agency that's handling all of that for you.
And you
all the
want to
details.
contact Jackie Skelton, who's our travel agent that has arranged everything for us. She's
Very
awesome.
cool. And here's what you get. Talk to us real quickly about what you get.
Well, the training that you get with us is, of course, developing an action plan and an exit strategy. You learn how to block and strike, escape from the most common types of holds, and know what to do if you get taken down to the ground. If you are dealing with home invasion or you're dealing with businesses with active shooters, we'll teach you how to ambush somebody with bad intentions. That's either at your home or place of work.
That is so cool. So, Ray, I know with the little bit of training you gave me back in the summer, my favorite thing that you taught me was the pinch move.
Right.
And it works. It works.
No,
I do it to my wife all the time, make her be submissive. I'm kidding. I do not do that. I am not that stupid. So, anyway, so
you have to sleep sooner or later.
absolutely, yeah, she will poison my food or something. So, Ray, let's bring our friend J.R. Smith back into our conversation. Let's get back on track with
Absolutely.
the Veterans Ranch. So, JR, right before we went to break, I said, I want you to tell us a little bit more about how you integrate things. Now, you gave us a number a few minutes ago of 44, and that's the number of veterans that are committing suicide on a daily basis. So, I always thought there was like 22, but you're saying it's twice as many people. So, I can't fathom that.
Yeah.
And what does the Veterans Ranch do to help minimize the suicide rate? What are the tools that you guys use?
Yeah, it's a hard number to fathom. You're talking 20,000 plus great Americans checking out off this planet every year that don't need to. Just think about that. That's your community. That's your neighborhood wiping itself out every year. What we're doing is when we pair you up with a horse, a lot of what we do is called liberty training. Now, if you're familiar with that in the horse world, you're going to know what I'm talking about, but I'll break it down very simple. We're going to put you, a horse, in a round pen with a training flag, and that's all you have. No halters, no lead ropes, meaning you can't tug on that horse and make the horse bend to your will. You have to build a bond of trust with an animal, again, inherently born not to trust anyone. You have to shut down. You have to stop thinking about thinking. Put down all that stuff you're dealing with on the daily and just focus on you and the horse. What this does is it again creates that different mindset. It gives veterans a purpose. It gives them a mission and a task that they have to complete. Give you an example. Last year, we had a young man. We got him in the arena, and you could tell he had something he was trying to deal with because he drove 4 hours to get to our event. And we got him in there, and we're trying to get him to relax. And he looks like he's relaxing, but everybody out there knows if I tell you to relax here about 10 times, the exact opposite's going to happen. Your jaw gets a little tighter, you get tense, and the horse knows that. They're blood pumping mirrors. They reflect everything you're projecting towards them. The last time we told him to relax, this young man thought he was trying to whisper, and he goes, "I am relaxing." Well, that horse pinned her ears back, went all the way to the other side of the round pen. Long story short, we got him after an hour and a half. We would not let him give up on himself. He was walking shoulder to shoulder around the round pen with his horse, could stop and actually go the other way. And we actually asked him to trot. And he said, "What's that?" We're like, "Okay, city boy, jog, jog." And this horse trotted 3 steps right next to him. And the amount of trust it took with that horse to do that with him was amazing. And when we got him back to the center of the arena, we taught him how to shut down. Slouch, kick a hip out, put your head down. Don't even act like the horse is in the arena anymore. And within 5 minutes, that horse came up and she put her nose right in his chest. And this young man melted like he was 2. Okay, literally crying like a baby. And this allows people to start laying down those heavy coats of burden. I mean, really understand what that is. And really just processing things differently to where you don't go to the booze, the pills. I mean, if you have a beer every now and again, hey, I don't care. I'm from St. Louis. Budweiser's my best friend. But the bottom line is don't use it as a crutch to numb the voices in your head or any of those things. Ask for the help and the Veterans Ranch will give it to you. And if it's above our pay grade, hey, we've got people we can help you with too.
That is very cool.
Well, we've got veterans that are dealing with a lot of struggles, but they're not the only ones that are dealing with struggles. A lot of times their families are on that ride with them. They're trying to reacclimate to civilian living, and it might not always be the easiest because our government really hasn't. They teach them how to think a certain way when they get in the military, but when they get out, they don't give them any training or reprogramming to get back to a civilian way of life. So when you're dealing with the wife or the spouse and their kiddos, can they join in as well?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up. For everybody out here watching and listening today and down the road, I'm going to make one thing real clear. When you see a veteran, don't just thank them for their service. If their family's with them, thank the entire family because they all serve. Okay. They may not be in a uniform, but trust me, there is a family brigade and they all serve. Absolutely. Our services are not only free to the veteran, but their immediate household family as well. Everybody needs to learn how to lay down heavy coats of burden. When they tell you that our active duty military is not doing this for the money, they're not kidding. Your average E4 makes about $31,500 a year. Think about that. I know McDonald's and Burger King managers that make more than $31,500 a year, and unless they're in a bad neighborhood, they're not getting shot at. Okay. So you got to think about that. You're absolutely right, Ray, with what you said. They are trained to go get the bad guy or support the guy going to get the bad guy. And when you get out, you're just supposed to, just go back to that young, dumb 18-year-old kid that stepped off the bus. You can't because 8 weeks of boot camp made you a different individual.
Right. So I think our congressmen should be getting the same wage as our soldiers. And I think that would solve a lot of problems.
It's
Oh,
the only job where you can go in making 150,000 a year and come out a multimillionaire.
yeah, we're not. That's not what this topic is. But
We're not there today, but y'all get where I'm at on that.
yeah, we've had those conversations before, and every congressman and woman should have a jacket that they have the logos for all of their supporters
Turn them
and
into NASCAR.
obvious. Anyway, yeah, exactly. So, oh man, you know, I got to tell you, JR, there are several different things that are of very personal interest to me with some of the things that you're saying. Number one, uh, my stepson, his girlfriend, just about a month and a half ago, went from the Dallas area to San Antonio to do her Air Force basic training, and I think she gets like 3 phone calls every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. But and I know that's hard on my stepson. So he wants to be with her, and so that's one of the things that we didn't even think about. But on a personal note, as an executive coach and a life coach, I deal with all different types of clients, and one of my clients unfortunately went through a pretty nasty divorce several years ago, and he lost his daughter. She was 3 or 4 years old, something of that about that time frame or about that age. Several, I guess it was 3, maybe 4 years ago, and he and I worked through a lot of the issues, and he got to the point where he's doing reasonably well, but he needed a little bit more. And there is a rancher in the North Dallas area, north of me, and this guy has horses that he does equine therapy. Now, my friend was not in the military. He's just somebody that went through PTS, because it doesn't have to be a veteran, but in his case, he needed the additional help. And he told me just a few months ago, he went up to this ranch the first time, and the guy that he's working with told him to get in the pen, and the horse will pick him. And there were several horses that are in the pen, and sure enough, one of the horses came walking up to him. And my friend is like, okay, so what do I do? And the trainer says, just stand there and wait. Well, sure enough, a minute later, this other stallion came walking up and basically just pushed that first horse out of the way and said, no, he's mine. And they started to bond. And my friend was like, this is absolutely amazing. He got so much healing from that. And he was still holding on to a lot of the anger issues as a result of the divorce. And he said things are so much better because of going through that training. So I ask you, is that the sort of thing that you are seeing on a regular basis with the veterans that you work with?
It really is. We've had everything from the story I just shared to we did a trail ride one year, and a wife literally drug her husband out there. He was active duty Air Force, and he wasn't supposed to be there, but hey, you're active duty, come one, come all. And we ended up having him from being scared to death to be on a horse to going on a 2-hour long trail ride. Brought that family closer together because she rode dressage for 20 years. She was in her element, but she never understood why he wouldn't do any horse stuff with her. Well, long story short, he goes, guys, I'm from the Bronx. Never seen horses, never saw the mounted patrol, never saw any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, we are seeing that. And I tell you, it is therapeutic for us as it is the people we're helping. Okay, I'm 6'4", 260, but I'm telling you what, you have a breakthrough and a breakdown. That young man that melted when that horse came up and touched him, there wasn't a dry eye around that round pen, okay? With what we do, if you don't get the lump in your throat or a little allergy in your eye, you really need to check your heartbeat, because we truly are saving lives. You may not know. Our veterans don't always share. And that's one thing real quick. Don't ever ask a veteran how they feel. Okay, because as guys here in this room, and veterans, we all say the same thing. Two things. I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Those are diversions. Those are not feelings. Okay. I had a veteran tell me the other day, we lie to each other on a daily basis. Your life could be an absolute train wreck. You're going to tell everybody else, I'm good.
Yeah.
Ask them what they need. Now, they're still going to tell you I'm good, but keep asking them what they need, not how they feel.
Yeah.
Buy them a cup of coffee. Thank them for their service, but put some nuts behind it. Okay. Cut their grass, help them out with something. Don't do it so you can break your own shoulder, patting yourself on the back. Just do it because think about it.
Yeah.
Going all the way back through history. Okay. You know, we'd be speaking German or Japanese right now if it wasn't for some young men that went over there and got the bad guy.
That is so true.
You know, so thank them for their service, but don't make it sound like the checkout girl at Publix that has said it 10,000 times on a 10-hour shift. Oh, have a nice day. Okay, mean it when you say it. Make them feel it.
Good point, JR.
Absolutely. You were talking about how a lot of veterans can get hooked on the meds that they give them for dealing with depression or dealing with pain if they have any injuries. Steve, you have something that is an alternative to any type of injection or medication or anything that might be able to help a lot of veterans with sleeplessness or pain. You want to share that a little with us?
Ray, what a genius segue, or some people will call it a segue. So hold on for a second.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. No drugs, no injections, no kidding.
Ray, again, that was a great segue.
You're speechless. Oh my gosh,
Well,
that's
no,
rare.
I'm gathering my no, that doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen often. I've got so many things on my mind, and I've got something I want to run by JR when we bring him back in. But one of the cool things, that little patch that they were talking about, it's wafer thin. It's about the size of a quarter, a little bit larger than a quarter. All it does, you just peel the backing off, you stick it on your body, and there are some best places to put it, and it tells your stem cells to go back to work. People ask me all the time, does it really work? Well, my testimony is real simple. In the past 2 years, I've had 4 major surgeries on my leg, and as a result of a stupid attack. And I went dancing with the ladder, and the ladder tripped me. I'll just put it that way. And as a result, I've had major issues. Well, the first time I had the first surgery, I was on pain meds for 10 days after the surgery. Second, third, and fourth surgeries, I was on pain meds for 3 days. I started using these little patches, and the pain went away. So that was my biggest one. The other thing that I've noticed myself and other people have told me is it actually reverses the aging process. It tells your body to produce collagen, which tightens up the face muscles and gets rid of the wrinkles and so forth. And I had a woman that came up to me last summer. I was doing a presentation. She came up after I was done, and she said, "I checked your Facebook page out." I said, "Okay, great. What did you discover?" She says, "You look younger than the pictures on your Facebook page," which were 2 years old. So if you're concerned about wrinkles and that kind of thing, I've got some ways that I can help with those sorts of things as well. But Ray, do you have any comments? Any input yourself?
No, I mean, I am also a LifeWave user of the X39 patch, and yes, it does work. Yes, it does. And after I deal with my hip surgery, I'm going to be just putting patches all over my body just to work on the healing and the recovery and rebuilding the stem cells around it so that I can
Exactly.
get
You know,
back to doing what I love.
Ray, I've got so many stories that I could tell you about people not needing surgery, shoulder issues, nerve damage being reversed, wrinkles. I mean, the list goes on. So it's really cool. One woman, she started using the patches. She'd been in pain for 20 years. She served in the Gulf War and started developing an autoimmune issue as a result of Saddam Hussein blowing up all the chemical plants. And within 4 days, she was out of pain. Pain that she had had for 4 years. I'm sorry, for 20 years in 4 days. So anyway, Jr., we gotta bring you back in. But before you share anything more about the Veterans Ranch, LifeWave also has a patch that is specifically for horses.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a video that I saw recently that is a horse trainer out in California. And the horse obviously has some pain issues, and he just rubs his hand up across the rump of this horse, and the horse flinches. Okay, he puts a patch on that pain point and then starts digging his thumb in. The horse does not move. He takes the patch off, rubs his hand across the horse's rump, the pain comes back. And it is absolutely amazing. So I'd love to visit with some of your horse friends and show them the amazing results that we're getting with large animals as well. So not just you and Ray being large animals. Anyway, well,
I was waiting for that. I was waiting.
That's all I'm going to say there. Anyway, okay. So you said early on that the program that you have set up with the Veterans Ranch is free to veterans and their families. Now, you don't mean free. I mean, there's an admission fee, and they pay for the rental of the horses or something. You don't mean like no cost free, do you?
I mean the F word everybody loves, free.
I love it.
No, it is free. Look, here's the bottom line to everybody watching here, okay? I always share a joke with people, and it's a real quick one, as to, what our now veterans are dealing with. And it's, what's the difference between the chicken and the pig? The chicken only has to give up the egg. The pig has to give up the bacon.
Yeah.
Okay? That is our active duty service members right now, standing a wall, guarding a post. Just because we're not talking about Iraq, Afghanistan, or anything else in the news on the daily does not mean we do not have soldiers all over this world that are dealing with things. So when they sign their name on the dotted line, the real one percenters that say, I'll go send me, protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, not a political party, our way of life. Okay, they give us the ability to have political arguments and discussions and everything else. So yes, it is 100% free. So we rely on donations. We're just like Ray. It is the proud patriots, the proud Americans out there that go, damn right, they stood up for me. I'm going to stand up for them. We make it real simple. We ask you to cowboy up. Okay, cowboy up and make a donation. We're undercut Ray a little bit. I'm sorry, Ray. We're cheaper. We're $15 a month, bare minimum. Okay. $15 a month, 50 cents a day. Everybody in tough times like we're going through right now, because trust me, I understand inflation's a bitch. Okay, I have an F-350 with a 25-gallon tank. At its worst, was spending $130 to fill it up. I filled it the other day. It's $110, and I got to fill it up again come this weekend. So I understand things are pricey, but guess what's not going out of business? Liquor stores, fast food, pizza shops, everything else. Okay, we are still enjoying life. We might bitch about that it's $50 for 2 pizzas, but we're still buying them. So we are asking people to give up one thing once a month and help the ones that helped us all. Because literally, if we don't go get them over there, they will come get us over here. Y'all got to understand that. So when they stood that post, we got to stand a post for them. So help the Veterans Ranch. If you want to donate more, God bless you. We got all kinds of options on the website as to things you can do. You can do one-time donations, monthly, quarterly, annually. Maybe you take a disbursement out of your 401k once a quarter. You even have donor, what do they call it now? Donor matching funds. It's DAF is what the acronym is. Maybe your company, has a matching fund, and you can donate through that as well once a month. We give you all the options in the world. But the word folks, horse and sheep never go hand in hand. Okay. Hay for 12 horses, just enough hay to feed 12 horses for 1 year, is over $200,000.
Wow.
Yeah, think about that for a second. So, our veterans earned it. They deserve it. So all we're asking for is 50 cents a day. Everybody watching this right now within the sound of my voice can afford 50 cents a day.
And
that's what we're asking for.
JR, they can do something really pretty simple. I'm gonna turn my phone on here for just a second, and I'm gonna go on to, let's see, I just took a picture of that QR code, and that QR code takes me right to, oh my gosh, the Veterans Ranch, and there's a way for people to donate right there. That is very cool. That's how simple it is.
We live in a world of ease today, folks. Hard men make for easy times, and right now, well, easy men are making for hard times. But the easy thing we can do is scan that QR code, go to the veteransranch.org. I mean, there's 100 ways you can do it, and within 5 minutes you can be done. And when you sign up for a monthly donation, we will send you a free I Cowboyed Up for Veterans t-shirt. So there's a WIFM. What's the WIFM? The what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Get a free t-shirt.
Very cool. I like it. I don't think I've ever heard WIFM before. Man, I must be a youngster.
There's a lot of JR-isms I could throw out there.
Hey, that works.
I'm liking them. I'm gonna steal some of them.
Yeah.
We've got one of our viewers that asks, have any of the vets that have helped, or have any of the vets that you have helped started working with you to help others?
Yeah, we do get a lot of people to come back and volunteer and help. Now, the great segue into that is when we get our own piece of dirt, the only people we are hiring are veterans and immediate household family. We want that money going back into that community. We're going to have key employee insurance, and we're going to pay the premiums. Okay, let me say that again. We're going to pay the premiums, and we're going to pay them a salary. All right. So it's all about helping and serving the veterans. Yes, they love to give back, especially our younger veterans over the last 20 years of Iraq and Afghanistan. Nothing against American Legion, VFW halls, or anything else, but I am told regularly, I don't want to sit around, drink cheap beer, and tell old war stories. I want to be involved and engaged in helping my brother and sister, that are transitioning out, to help them get to a new place, not just sit around and drink cheap beer all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Ray, I'm thinking we need to do our due diligence and connect him with Ray Tuggle.
Absolutely.
With Defenders Gateway, is that right?
Yes.
So, and they help a lot of veterans in that transitional time from full service, active duty, to what are they going to do? Okay, I've got my life ahead of me. What am I going to do? So that would be a great opportunity for the two of you to connect and put your heads together and see how you can help each other.
Would love it. Absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of shy. I don't talk a whole lot, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We've been told that. And my friend Christine that introduced us, she told me you got to watch for JR. You got to really pull the questions out of him. He's just man, he just didn't talk willingly. So anyway, so JR, are there any particular long-term goals that you have with the Veterans Ranch?
The long-term goals are going to be really huge, simple but huge. Between Florida and Texas, okay, we will have, and I say will because it's not if or maybe or if we try really hard. No, we're going to have north of 700 acres just between those two areas. And I want to put a ranch in my home state of Missouri. I'm looking at one in Farmington right now for, Ray's going to know where that is, but for everybody else, about an hour or so due south of St. Louis. We want to be able to help veterans nationwide, as many of them as we can that want to take advantage of this program. So the more you help us, folks, the more we can help them. I know you get barraged every day, every night with, this organization, that organization, symbolically adopt a snow leopard, and all these kind of things. And I'm not calling anybody out, but folks, if you read their 990s and you saw what their budgets truly were, and you saw what their CEOs were getting paid, and I'm not against salaries, so don't come at me in my social media, but if you saw what they were getting paid and everything else, they really don't need your $19 a month. It is small organizations like ours, like Ray's, that are offering free services that we call boots on the ground every day, making something happen, that truly need your help. And that's what we're asking for here today.
Amen to that.
Hey, JR, I heard a statistic several years ago that most of the major organizations, and I'm not going to mention names like the Red Cross and so forth. That's not the point of this. But the large international organizations, the staff and all of the expenses and so forth is 90% of the money that they raise, and only 10% goes back to helping the people that really need it. But it sounds like you guys are the exact opposite.
Folks, I haven't paid myself in 5 years. None of the founders have paid themselves in 5 years. Now, I'm going to say that needs to change. We lost 2 businesses during COVID. That sucked. But do I need high 6-figure, 7-figure salaries? Hell no. I need to live, feed my family. Because trust me, folks, I have figured out how to live on the cheap the last couple of years during COVID. And just so people understand, and again, I'm not going to drop names, but there is a veteran organization, because the IRS says, just so everybody understand, the IRS says you can pay yourself up to 15% of what you bring in. Doesn't mean you should, doesn't mean you have to, but you can. Okay, so I'm going to clarify that. But they pay their CEOs $720,000 a year. Do you really need $720,000 a year to be a CEO of a nonprofit? Nah. No, you really don't. I mean, if I could get back to what I made in 2006, I'd be freaking ecstatic between me and my wife. My dad's on VA and Social Security. He doesn't need a salary. I think last I saw with now we got to do our, we're June to June, so our stuff's coming up. I think we're about, because again, the word sheep and horse never go hand in hand. 75-80% of what brings in goes to the mission.
That is so cool. It's encouraging to know that there are good organizations like yours that really are making a difference. Ray, the same thing with you, what you're doing with Heroes in Action. But folks, we've got the QR code up one more time. You can donate to the Veterans Ranch and help a vet. You may be that person, that donation that you make that helps that veteran get past the thoughts of suicide. You can make a huge difference when you donate and help out an organization like the Veterans Ranch. So, we've only got about a minute or so left, JR. I know you've got an announcement coming up soon. I know there's nothing that is 100% official, but you've got a gala that's coming up in a few months. Is there anything you can tease us with, the dates, locations, maybe a speaker or two that you can tell us about?
April 8th, thank you on that. April 8th, Pilot Point, Texas, so about an hour north of Dallas. It's going to be the day before Easter. You can come on out. We're going to have a prayer breakfast, barbecue competition. We're going to kick this up Texas style and, kick your boots and get ready, because this is going to be a big party. Invited speakers right now that are really close to coming: Governor Greg Abbott, President Bush, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, and David Petraeus. They are all on the invitee list. The sponsorships are available. Reach out to us today and let's figure it out.
Yeah.
We are working on it. We will work on it. I have to talk to the committee, guys. I got it. Steve knows who I have to talk to.
Oh, mercy.
Steve knows who I have to talk to. I have to talk to 4 people. We would love to have Taboo Talk out there and do a live broadcast on the day of the event. But we've got to, everybody's got to be involved in this. I am chief cook and bottle washer for a lot of things, but I have a team that's helping me with this one.
Ray, I got to tell you, you are the epitome of subtlety.
Subtle.
I love y'all. I really do. It's just I
Oh,
got to talk to 3 other people.
no,
Very
I got
good.
you. That is so funny. So, all right. So the last thing from me, and I don't know if Ray, you've got anything else, but I know they can go to your website. Not only can they donate, not just that $15 a month, but do 50, 100, 200, $500 a month, whatever, whatever. If God has blessed you and your business and your family, then be generous. Help our veterans as much as you possibly can, and let's save a life or two or 10 or 20 or 50 or 100. So feel free to donate both to the Veterans Ranch as well as to Heroes in Action. So Ray, anything else from you before we shut this thing down today?
Yes, JR, we need to just set up a time where the two of us meet and kind of collaborate and work on helping each other raise money. I've got some ideas for you that I'd like to run by you. And maybe we can also do events together for military families where I can work with the wives and the kids while you work with the veterans that are in need of that emotional support with the equestrian. So, I mean, we can do a lot of combined effort events that I think will really help a lot of people.
Yeah, look forward to it. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, here's the funny thing, and I haven't mentioned this in a while, but I have helped a lot of people, veterans and just the rank and file individuals out there that have dealt with emotional trauma of some sort. It could be a divorce, it could be loss of a job, it could be a death in the family. Maybe you were abused, victimized, whatever when you were younger. I have helped a lot of people through some of the trauma. So maybe the three of us need to put together something that we can help heal people from all of their past stuff that's going on. So,
Absolutely.
I see
Ray,
it working well. Absolutely.
Ray, did I hear that people can actually like our page? They can actually subscribe. They can comment. They can share things that we do on here. Maybe if they go to our YouTube page, you know, oddly enough, we've named it Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve on YouTube, but they can actually subscribe there as well. I mean,
They
is
can
that still the
subscribe
case?
there. They can go to our Facebook page, and hey, we're on Spotify and a number of other social media platforms that you guys can catch our show at different hours of the day. You can catch our show anytime you want on our Facebook page or YouTube page and look at all of our past episodes. And everyone that we bring up as a guest, we really hope our viewers support them and help them
Absolutely.
because you guys are going above and beyond what
Yep.
most people would do to actually make a difference in our country. So thank you very much for what you do.
Well, we appreciate it. We always end with saying it's our pleasure to serve the ones that served us all.
JR, thank you for your
Absolutely.
support. Thank you for your service, service to our veterans, and what a great cause, what a great mission. So, looking forward to visiting some more in the future.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, I think we are out of here for this one more episode of Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. Y'all have a blessed
Be
day.
good.